I need to dry my tears. I'm like, where all my fucking money go? It's 2025, y'all. We cannot keep avoiding this. So I am for the girls now, y'all. Yeah. And next thing you know, baby, you hella in debt. I'm not even joking. I don't think I've cleaned my makeup brushes in over a year. There's not gonna be any evil eye that can stop what God has planned for me. So this is 2025. I cannot believe this. I'm gonna be 25 this year. I had probably one of the most amazing years of my life. It was a great year for personal development. I feel like this is gonna be like an extremely transformative year for me. Like something crazy is gonna happen. We're gonna go over what's gonna make 2025 your absolute best year. 2025 is the year of the bad bitches, y'all. I'm gonna do my makeup. We're gonna chit chat. We're gonna talk and buckle up, y'all. This is gonna be a long video. Get your popcorn out. The first thing I want to talk about is financials. If y'all don't got a handle on your financials, you're gonna start feeling real stressed and shit's gonna be crazy. The first thing, I have talked about this several times. I used to be like, it started out when I was in college. When I started the business, I was about $40,000 into debt. When I first got a credit card, and my parents told me all the time, do not get comfortable spending on that thing because you will lose your reality of what money is like. Things start happening, shit happens, the car breaks down, stuff like that goes on, and then you have to start putting amounts of money on the credit card that you don't actually have, and next thing you know, baby, you hella in debt. What is this? Girl, leave me alone. If you are in any amount of credit card debt, which most of us have been at some point in our life, first thing you want to do is you want to lock that credit card. I used to tell myself, I was like, oh, I'm not going to lock the credit card because I get so many points off the credit card and I'm just going to keep using it and then I'm going to pay it off after. When you have like credit card usage syndrome where you just be swiping that shit like you don't gotta pay it, that's not gonna happen. I know we hear about this all the time, like, oh, you need to create a budget, you need to create a budget. And I always used to like hear that, but I never really knew where to start. I know some people do Excel sheets and like, that's just never been my thing. I've never been an Excel sheet person and I don't like Excel sheets and I don't even know what to do. I don't even know how to do that damn Excel sheet, I'm sorry. ChatGPT is your world's best friend right now. ChatGPT could be your therapist, it could be your boyfriend, it could be your accountant, it could do everything for you. You can literally ask ChatGPT to make you an entire budget in 2 seconds. It will allocate all of this stuff for you. It will track everything for you. You wanna try to like create a budget of exactly how much you spend. Figure out what that number is. At the start of the month, put that set amount of money into your bank account. The next thing, when you're creating this budget, you're gonna wanna give yourself a miscellaneous section. I think it's really crazy every time I hear people be like, oh, I'm trying to save this amount of money and I didn't give myself no extra money to spend. Y'all, life is life, okay? Let's give ourselves a little bit of some leeway here. Give yourself some money to spend on like things that you want to spend, because let's be really fucking realistic. Like, I want to buy things. I want to buy things that are not just food and gas and stuff. If there's anything that my mama has taught me day in and day out, it is to save your money. I know we hear this all the time, and I feel like every time I listen to like financial people on YouTube or just in general, they will always tell you like you need to save even if it's $5. I would never do it because I was like, $5, what the fuck? I'm like, that's legit not gonna add up to anything. I don't know if y'all are like me, but I get obsessed with things. I am such a competitive person, and so I started creating this like competitive thing for myself. I want to see myself add a bunch of money into this account. $5 was not motivating me. I started doing $100. Watching that $100 turn into 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Like that would keep me motivated. It was kind of like the same thing for me with weight loss, where I was like, once I started to see the weight fall off, then I would be like, oh, okay, I actually want to do this. I'm gonna try to aim to save between $100 to $500 every month if you can. Since I'm self-employed, I do pull my 20% for taxes from every single paycheck or any amount of money that comes into my account. And then I do pull 15% for savings as well. Sometimes, depending on how large the paycheck is, I will pull up to 30% for savings. I would say realistically, you want to aim, oh, this is the wrong concealer. Kind of always have bare minimum like $10,000 to $20,000 in savings. One of my biggest goals this year is to hit 100K in savings. I gotta buy a car this year, y'all, because they done stole my shit. Because if there's anything I've learned getting older, 20K ain't shit, y'all. Like that stuff will go so freaking fast. Like you look up and 20K is gone. I'm like, where all my fucking money go? Make sure that it's in an account where you're not going to use it. I put all of my savings into a separate bank that I don't even use for my regular checking. It's like the longest, most annoying password for me to even put in. So I be lazy as fuck, y'all. Like, I know who I am. If my password is crazy long and I don't have Face ID set up on there, I used to be that person. I'll be like, I'm gonna just borrow a little bit of money out of my savings. No, We're making that shit hella hard for us to get into. Last but not least, if you are a self-employed person, this is not for my 9-to-5 baddies. Y'all got it real good. I wish I could be like that. I don't want to start doing quarterly taxes. That's definitely something that I need to start doing, is quarterly taxes. It just makes things so much easier. It's 2025, y'all. We cannot keep avoiding this. All right, we wrapped up for financials, y'all. Let's talk about the fun stuff. First things first. We hear this all the time every New Year's, but for real, girl, if you have not worn something in 3 months, get rid of it. You're most likely not selling it. Go take that, go donate it, give it to somebody who needs it. The best thing that I have learned in my years of clothes hoarding and being fascinated with shopping way too much is vital to keep your closet at an 80-20 rule. 80% basics, 20% like little fun items. My friend Mia is actually the one that really motivated me with that, because she is such like a basics girly, and every time I would see her wear these clothes, I'd be like, oh my god, this bitch looks so good. And she just got like a regular little black pants and black top on. The next suggestion I have is to invest in drawer organizers. I actually just bought some drawer organizers for like my underwear and stuff, because I used to just throw everything together. I keep my closet very organized. It's color coded, so that's always good. But like investing in drawer organizers for like your bathroom and just having things in a like good cleanly mannerism, I feel like just makes you feel so much better. I don't know what it is. Like I will wake up earlier. I will do everything I need to do earlier just because like my space is clean and organized. Getting like new underwears and socks and stuff makes the biggest difference. You just feel so clean. I started getting like basically almost all of my underwears because I used to love a good like sexy underwear. But baby, I was not doing nothing with them sexy underwears. I just started wearing like a lot of seamless underwears. They're so much more comfortable. They helped big time because I used to get like crazy yeast infections with like the sexy underwear because them shits was literally all up in my coochie cat. My favorite ones are from Intimacy. I think they're like $6, which is a little bit expensive for one pair of underwear. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna show y'all my drawers. They're like such a nice material. They've got a good little like stretch to them. They're very thicky and they like sit under your clothes really nice. I have these like socks that I buy off Amazon that they're such good quality. I personally have noticed that I just wear a lot of ankle high socks, so I just basically switched all my socks over to that. Another one of my favorite socks is actually Bare by Bria's socks. I shoot for her and I work for her, so she gives me them all the time, but like I need to actually buy some more because I love her socks. Next thing, y'all gotta toss out all that old makeup. Stop putting that old ass makeup on your face. That's why you're breaking out. That's why you're having a hard time. And this is for me too, but like I really wish I was lying to y'all. I gotta do it today. It's on my list. I'm not even joking. I don't think I've cleaned my makeup brushes in over a year. It's a miracle that I don't have like fungus growing on my face. I'm gonna start creating myself a schedule of like cleaning them every like 2 months. I feel like I probably should be cleaning them every month, but again, this is gonna be realistic to us. I know I'm not washing my makeup brushes every month. Our last one is, if you can afford it, invest into a house cleaner. I actually got a house cleaner this year, and she gave us a really great price. I honestly thought house cleaning was gonna be so much more expensive because growing up, my dad worked with like a lot of rich clients and they always had house cleaners, and I was like, oh my god, this must be like a super rich thing. Y'all, for our 3 bedrooms and our houses, I'm gonna say like our bedroom, I think our apartment's like maybe 1,500 to 1,800 square feet. Our house cleaner only charges $250 and she deep cleans the entire thing. Set that into your budget, because if there's anything I've learned, like I listen to a lot of self-help podcasts, a lot of podcasts from women that are like entrepreneurs, and their biggest thing they always tell you is like outsource whatever you can because time is money. And I'm a huge procrastinator myself, so actually I will waste a lot of my time procrastinating when I could be doing other things that are like more vital in my life. Like instead of me sitting there and cleaning my shower for 2 hours, because it's gonna take me 2 hours because I don't want to do it, I could be doing more meaningful things like working on my business and investing into myself. Anything that you know that you take a lot of time procrastinating and absorbs a lot of your day, do it. Moving into our self-care portion, more skincare, less makeup. I've been really big about just like accepting my skin. You can wear as much makeup as you want, but if your skin looks like shit, you're gonna feel like shit and your makeup isn't gonna look like shit. So y'all might fight with me a little bit on this, but if you're wanting to start Botox, start doing it, because I feel like I was dealing with like a lot of crow's eyes, wrinkling on my forehead and stuff, things that I didn't even realize. And when I got Botox, this makes a really big difference with your skin. And I honestly do feel like it's very preventative. It's gonna save you a lot of money in the long run if you are someone that's open to like fillers and plastic surgery and stuff. Start doing it now before you end up having to pay a whole fuck ton of money later on. Following up with that, take your hair vitamins. I was really, really bad with hair vitamins this year. I did do it sporadically for a little bit and my hair grew so much, and then when I went to New York, I stopped doing it. The best hair vitamins. These JS Health hair vitamins, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, they do make me break out a little bit, but I kind of take them in increments so it doesn't freak my skin out too much. Again, another obvious one, start your mornings earlier, end your nights earlier. I remember being in college and I was a huge like wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym type of girl. Like I was very on top of that. That was the most productive I had ever been in my entire life. I wish I was like built like that, like how I used to be, because I used to get so much stuff done. I would wake up at 5 a.m. I would go to the gym for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I would come home. I'd cook, eat, organize my life, everything. I was going to college full time. I had a job full time and I was running a business full time. And I had the time to do all that because I got up early and I got my day started way before everybody else. I feel like the most successful people that you see in life are the ones that wake up super early. Next one, no phone 30 minutes before you go to bed and no phone 30 minutes after you wake up. There's like so many studies on how damaging waking up and going right on your phone is. That's a huge one I am also trying to implement this year. So I'm advising it to you guys now. I didn't do it last year. I can't even front y'all. I'm not even gonna pretend I did not do it last year, but it's so funny because I feel like I'm sleeping so much better. Like I've always been someone that sleeps really, really easily. Like the minute you put me down, I'm out. I feel like it's like a better, deeper sleep and I am waking up more refreshed. It's kind of insane what technology does to your brain and like how much it's killing us. That kind of also ties into decreasing the scrolling time. I can't even lie to you guys. There was one point where my scrolling time, like my phone time, was almost 10 hours a day. That is absolutely sickening. Like no one needs their phone time to be 10 hours a day. I was trying to get down to 4 hours. I don't think I could get myself down to 2 hours. I range from like 6 to 7. That ain't okay. Our second to last in our little self-care section, less music, more podcasts, and more reading. I think I've talked about this several times before, but my dad literally really never let us listen to music or watch TV as kids. So I was a really huge bookworm for most of my life. I'm actually very thankful for that. As much as I hated it as a kid, I am so thankful because I have a great attention span. It has gotten worse because ever since Ludi showed me that you can 2x speed on TikTok, I'm not even kidding, I have wanted to 2x speed everything. Like I'm just doing my best to kind of make sure that like my attention span stays good and I stop like wasting my time with things. Like I'm still going to enjoy stuff like music and TV and like I'm, again, realistic. I'm never not going to listen to those things no matter what, but I do want to be more intentional about like the stuff that I consume. And so girl, please. I just feel like it's better for me to spend my time and to invest my energy into something that's going to better myself than listening to like Ice Spice talk about oatmeal and being a munch and shit for the 5,000th time. And then our very last one for self-care is investing in therapy. I feel like I have talked about therapy so much in my time online and just everything. Therapy was life-changing for me, and sometimes just even like venting and having that support system, if you've never been to therapy before, is vital in itself. Invest in therapy, girl, because it's life-changing. Now, I did want to talk about my own personal goals for 2025. I saw so many people like on Twitter being like, why are you guys posting your 2025 goals onto the internet? There's going to be evil eye and everything. Baby, I am divinely protected by the Lord. Whatever the Lord's plan for me, that is what's going to happen. So I can talk about my goals and my things on the internet. There's not going to be any evil eye that can stop what God has planned for me. Point blank, period. Like, we ain't got to worry about no bitch with no evil eye. Like, my first one, I said last year that last year was going to be my last year modeling, but I do think this year is going to be my last year modeling just because I'm moving back to Miami and not being in LA is going to be super hard. These two, I have to, like, it has to happen this year. I will be shooting for Good American and Milk Makeup this year. Those are just two companies that I really, really loved. I've always loved how, like, diverse the brand is, and they have been on my manifestation board, I think, since I made my manifestation board in like 2019. I really want to work on like making my content very female gazed focused. I feel like anyone that does content creation knows how hard it is to build a female audience because girls are real finicky sometimes, and y'all don't like a whole lot of sexy. This thing is like, I still want to remain true to myself, and I do feel like I am a sexy individual. I love to feel sexy. I love a good bikini shoot. I love a good lingerie shoot, but I do want to make sure that like I'm creating an environment where girls like my content, because if you guys remember, I used to have like the worst male following numbers on Instagram. I think I had like 19% female on Instagram at one point. I'm very happy to say that we have raised it up to 60% female, so I am for the girls now, y'all. Yeah. I just want to make sure that like I'm tapping in with you guys, because I'm such like a girl's girl. Like anyone that knows me in real life, like a lot of content creators that have like a large tapped in crazy female audience base are not as personality driven. Girls really love aesthetics, and I'm not a huge aesthetics girl, y'all. Like I'm very much so like, this is me, this is who I am, this is my personality, we gonna have fun, we gonna have little aesthetic moments occasionally, but I just like very like raw and real. Like I think that has always been the base of my content, is being like as open and relatable to people as I possibly can. Not even relatable, but just like myself. Like if you guys relate to me, you relate to me, but if you don't, you don't. But like sometimes it is a little bit hard to appeal to women with that. But my next thing is to strengthen my relationship with God. I don't remember if I've ever talked to you guys about like, my father's super religious. I grew up very religious. I had to study the Bible from front to back. And so I've always had a bit of difficulty with like Christianity, because that is what I grew up with. And I wouldn't say that I consider myself a Christian, because there are certain principles of Christianity that I do not abide by, especially the new age Christian these days. I don't want to affiliate with that, but I would say that's like the closest religion that I would say I have. But I do have my own relationship with God. It is very important to me. I feel like I talk to God all day long. I have cultivated a much healthier relationship with him as an adult now that I've separated kind of like the childhood trauma I had where I felt like it was forced on me. But I do want to like start going back to church. I feel like I want to find a good church that like kind of abides by the stuff that I care about, and that's love and kindness and forgiveness and all those things. So if you guys have any churches, even if I can watch them online, I am so incredibly thankful for what he has done for me. I'm telling you guys, there were so many moments I didn't think I was gonna make it out of stuff. He has showed me so much kindness and so much forgiveness and so much grace, and the person I am today is a reflection of what God has done for me in my life. I'm gonna cry. I'm just so thankful for y'all. So that's definitely a big thing I want to work on. Then a next thing is I need to dry my tears. I'm not kidding. The last 4 YouTube videos I've made, I've cried in every single one of them. The next thing I want to do is I really want to work on being vulnerable with dating again. I'm tapping into my feminine and absolving my masculine with this. Maybe we can make like a whole video. I'm going to do a girl chat video soon, so we can kind of talk a little bit more in depth with that. But I definitely have become so like masculine in the way that I date, and it's so detached, and like I would say I'm more of like a stereotypical masculine. I have more masculine traits than anything, and I think a lot of times that's very upsetting for like the average man. The femininity that I had prior, I was a very giving and loving and kind person, and I was like, I definitely lost that because that person misused that and mistreated that. And so I felt like, okay, I've got to start listening to what they say on TikTok, where it's like, you don't cook for nobody, you don't do nothing for anyone, you never pick a man up, you never drop him off, you never offer him anything, you never get him a gift, blah blah blah. Like, that's just not who I am. I've never been like that, and I did start to become like that, and I feel like that's what was making dating so like for me, because I was acting completely out of nature. I was Miss Cool Girl, Miss Chill, and for me at that moment it was real for me, but like I don't want to do that anymore, and that's not who I am. And I think about like how I am with my best friend is how loving I was. With my best friend now, like literally I think about every single thing that that girl could possibly need before she even needs it. I am such an acts of service person when it comes to love. I do really want to tap back into that and find that again, because I do think a lot of that got lost because I closed myself off and I created such a barrier, and I no longer wanted to be vulnerable, because who wants to be vulnerable for someone to trash them? I think I'm getting to a stage now, I definitely am like extensively healed a lot from what happened. Understand that like I can do this again, and you don't have to lose this part of yourself. You've just got to have better discernment. That kind of ties me into my next one, where I want to do like less casual dating and more intentional interactions. I'm the worst with like, I will clock right away that a guy's like not gonna work for me, but I'm just like, oh, let's just like see how it goes. Like maybe it'll be better, blah, blah. I gotta stop doing that. Like no more of that. Like it needs to be like, okay, do you make sense for me? I know right away if you make sense for me, you stay. If you don't, you gotta go. And then my next goal, I really do want to start a podcast this year. I feel like my agent has been telling me for the longest, she's like, you're so good at long form content. Like you should definitely do a podcast. I feel like you guys on YouTube, I have such like a good community here because you guys are so locked in with me. And I am such like an open book. So a podcast would make so much sense. I have a name for it. I'm ready for it. I just gotta see like how it's gonna fit my schedule because y'all know I'm not the most consistent person ever. I'm gonna be so real. And last and final one, I do wanna make one big girl purchase. I am, again, such like a quantity over quality person. I will spend so much money on like little silly things. And I just like, I want to get like a good designer bag myself. Like I want to spend that money on myself, or I want to get like a really nice car this year. Who knows? I do want to like get myself something really nice because I have worked super, super hard. So 2025 is about spending the money properly. Anyways, you guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm so sorry that it's a long one. Maybe some of you guys might like that, but let me know what some of you guys' New Year's resolution is. I love you guys so much. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.